And this is QTV, and we are back. It's Monday, and we're about to, roll on this morning. So wherever you're watching us from, I'm joined by my colleague Julde Njai. Julde, good morning. How are you?
Fine, Balde. Good morning.
That's a nice shirt there.
Thank you. So as you, good morning to you, and good morning to our viewers from wherever you're watching us. It's always good to be back. I quite missed the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I missed being on this show, but yeah, I am back.
Yeah, it's good to have you again back on the show. It's interesting when you are also around, to help steer the program.
Absolutely.
Which is very significant.
Thank
so
you.
How was your weekend?
It was fine. I had fun. It was quite a hectic one, but it was combined with a lot of, I had a guest, who I miss so much. So it was a nice weekend, and it was well spent, really. How was yours?
Alhamdulillah, I spent my whole weekend at home. Normally, if I leave work Friday afternoon, if I get to the house, I don't go out till Monday.
Wow.
Yes, only on special occasions that I leave my house. But that's how I leave my weekend.
Nice. So how the Gambian people, how do you live your weekend? How was your weekend?
Yes.
You know, Balde and I, we had a very good weekend, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
May we have many more good weekends ahead.
Absolutely, yes. That's what we are hoping for. Weekends are, days that you got to relax at home, at least to give that due to the family.
Absolutely.
I think you come to work from Monday to Friday or Saturday. Weekends you dedicate it to the family so that they can at least feel your presence. That's significant. And on the program to review the newspaper with us is my brother, Sheikh Mati Jau. Say, Mati, it's been a while. Bega Sakawar. Last time when you were what
I
word?
was like you. Today,
Yo, Sakawar, we have tell the news.
He's unpredictable. You can't predict him.
Yeah, so it's good to have you here, my brother.
happy to be back. Happy to be back, definitely.
Yeah. So how have you been?
I've been great. Just in the field, collecting data as usual.
Yeah, I'm following. I'm following activities.
Usual. Yeah.
And how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. Actually, I was in the field. Went to Fonyi this time. So been to Fonyi on Saturday and on Sunday as well. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Nice.
So how is the collection exercise?
Well, it's going on because we do like different research projects. So we do most of them concurrently. So all of them are going fine, and then we are very happy that people are also seeing the work that we are doing. They feel it is very important, and that is also giving us the motivation to continue. So yeah, so we enjoy it. Yeah,
What is it this time?
So it's different. So right now I'm also part of a project that is looking at peacekeeping, the impact of peacekeeping in terms of the socio-economic, but we're also looking at a project that looks at the impact of the Casamance conflict, on the border communities, but also you're doing one on security reform, one on mental health, peace infrastructure. So there are quite a number that we're doing with different partners.
That should be interesting.
Yeah. So even mental health, we're planning to do one on mental health, especially linked to psychosocial support with regards to the TRRC, and also even to look at the peace infrastructure within the country. When there are issues, where do people go to? So those are things that we are trying to investigate and find out if things that we could learn from. Yeah.
I can't wait, especially the issue of mental health. Really, I think we don't have sufficient data.
Indeed.
As far as mental health is concerned, and as a country, I think we kind of lost as to how to go about mental health issues in the country. But I think with statistics, at least we can have a roadmap to guide us through.
Definitely.
Exactly, and our proverb reads today: a good chief is like a good basket; he keeps the people together. Yeah, a good chief is like a good basket; he keeps the people together.
Do we have that now?
Well, it depends. It depends. Said Mati, at this point, this is the proverb.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very simple and clear. If you have a bad basket, you put whatever you put there, it falls or anything. But then if you have a basket that keeps everybody, it's what keeps a society together. And I think the role of a chief, the role of a president, or any leader within any society is to bring people together. And it doesn't mean that all the people you put together will agree but at least they will trust, the foundation on which they are staying. And I think that's also the challenge today. Like you were asking whether that is still existed, but I think that's the challenge for leadership for everybody.
Well, actually, in fact, it's good that we mentioned the issue of chiefs. I mean, most of the chiefs today are politically appointed. I mean, which caused a lot of confusion sometimes as to what is their role. I mean, in the society. Once you are appointed politically by the president, obviously you need to dance to his tune, and we have seen that a lot, many a times, not only Adama Barrow's regime, but even the former president's regime.
I mean, you see, the issue of chiefs, I'm not a historian that specializes on that, but I think there are people that have written, that have done work to explore the role of chiefs, but it's historical. In the beginning, when British were colonizing this country, they had Banjul where they were present, and then the rest of the country were colonized through the chiefs. And in that process, so they were very important. They were seen as a very important colonial institution. But after the independence, now you have a new African leadership, new Gambian leadership. And so they also didn't want to holistically integrate the chiefs into the entire process. So they just continue to give them the role that was given to them by the colonials. So anybody, from the colonialists to the former, the First Republic, Second Republic, and even now, it's almost the same. These are people that have been just used for whatever those in Banjul want them to do. But I think for us, these are also traditional authorities that are highly trusted by their people. And I think if you want to, like this saying is saying...
And I think at some point you did a survey as to traditional leaders are more trusted
than... So with Afrobarometer we track institutions in terms of how people trust them. And so traditional religious leaders are on top. I mean, since 2018, and then you have traditional leaders. And traditional leaders are also, you can include the chiefs, the alcalos. These are people that are very close to the community. These are people that are trusted by the people. And so the way they are selected, the kind of role that they should play needs to be clearly stated. But of course, I think based on our laws, they are not supposed to be political. But of course, in terms of appointment and the inducement from the politicians, particularly, the executive, usually is the reason why, sometimes they become political. But I think also, since the change of government, we're seeing also chiefs and, generally traditional leaders. Some have been replaced, others there. But those things need to be revisited.
Absolutely, yes.
Their role in our governance.
I'm told we're supposed to take a break now. What we'll do, we'll take a short break. After the break, then the program will continue. We'll be right back.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back, and this is QTV this morning. And now let's take a look at some of the stories on the newspapers. We have the Point newspaper with us here, and it says, International Idea Secretary General praises Gambia democratic trajectory. And, at some point, I think it's important for us to engage Seth Mati here. Well, we are receiving praises. I mean, from international organizations. So, what do you have to say about this? Is there anything to praise?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the lecture. And I think it's, my comment to him was that we appreciate that because I think this is the reality. In the country, I think since 2016, Gambia has made tremendous achievement in many global indicators. Of course, corruption is still a major issue. But when you look at the civic and political rights, we have make significant progress. And I think even our national Afrobarometer surveys is also showing in terms of what the people are thinking along that. So for me, I think this is the political and civil rights. Definitely, we have made significant stride. And if you look at all these global indicators, it's showing Gambia, 9th position, Gambia 8 in Africa. So those are things that are very relevant and important, and we need to see it as our achievement, and also to ensure that we are able to sustain it. Yeah.
But with the current political environment, many critiques of the government are skeptical as to whether we are going back to the olden days, especially with the arrest of people now, and some of the statements made by the executive and all of that.
Well, I mean, those are part of the political process. Of course, we could avoid that, but to have 100%, system is never possible. Not to justify that, but how are citizens aware of their rights? When their rights are violated, can they go to the courts, for instance, to seek remedy? Sometimes these are the mechanisms you use to address these other challenges. But if you look at Afrobarometer in terms of citizens' freedom, it's like you see a Gambian saying that they are 80% free, all those different stuff are there. But of course, the government's role is not to remind people of where they're coming from, because we are coming from a period of, human rights violation. And so when even one case in this country happens, it becomes a national issue. So they need to pay attention to only engaging in things that are necessary, that are criminal, but leave people to be alone. You cannot criminalize speech, but you can counter speech. And so that's what government's supposed to do, not to be arresting people just because they say things that they don't like.
Yeah, so on the headline of the Point newspapers, there is another headline that says Dabo will be UTB standard bearer in 2026 again. Yeah. And most of the time when you talk to people, they tell you, why not you tell Dabo to step aside so that we can get a new and fresh person, you understand, so that he can, hold that flag again for UDP. Maybe they can make a difference in 2026. But it's like this headline is telling you otherwise.
Well, people have their opinion, but UDP is a political party. Dabo is a member of UDP. If they want to bring him, it's their decision. So sometimes, for me, the way I balance my way around these discussions in the country is to look at who is responsible for what. Exactly. I mean, I'm not a member of UDP. UDP, they have membership. If they pick and say, that he's the one that they want, I mean, I think it's the decision then. If UDP pick him, then it's up to the people outside whether that's what he is the one that they want or not. But to say whether he should come, he should not come, for me, I think that is, it is prolonging the discussion. But the decision is UDP.
It depends.
So it's UDP that should make that decision. So for me, I have usually I don't have say in this, who should come, who shouldn't come.
It's internal issues.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they know better.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I also think that parties, even despite that we want competition within parties, most political parties, they choose to go through consensus mechanisms of selecting who their leaders are. Sometimes they do elections. But that is their job. Let them decide who should come out, and then it is the rest of us to validate is the person that we want or otherwise. And then for me, democracy and politics is as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a bit skeptical about his age. I mean, whether he would be able to run, but like you said, it depends.
I mean, so there's no age limit for before it was 65, but that was removed. So now every citizen, I mean, if you are 100, if you're 99, whatever you want to be, you can run. But as long as you're a citizen, because that's what's also important for me. I mean, so for me, I think now is just the decision of UDP. Even if they want him, if they want somebody else, that is theirs. That's their choice. Let them bring whoever they want, and then people decide whether they want him or not. Because at the end of the day, nobody can be a president in this country if you are not elected. People will have to elect, and so they decide whether it's old, is young, is however they want to, measure their vote and participate in the process. Is up to the individual.
But said Matty, don't you think? I mean, the way people choose presidents in this country also will directly or indirectly affect every one of us, because at the end of the time, the output of that president also, I mean, we depend on that. If the president is not proactive, or if the president is not providing what he is supposed to do,
we will never know that today Said Matty can be very good in civil society, doing all this different stuff. Tomorrow you say, oh, he's very good in here, let's bring him here, and then I will not perform. But you putting me there because you have hope that I will do this because you have seen me do 1 or 2. And of course, it is about information, whether people have the right information, whether they understand what they really want. It is there, but sometimes it's also the leadership. Like you've been elected based on a clean consent that we want you to help the country, to develop the country. And at the end of the day, when you get there, you do something else. It's not on the people, it's on you. So sometimes that's the other issue, but that's why also civil society is very relevant, the media. And an issue of election and choosing is about choice as well. You know, some will look at the person because he's so handsome, they like him, or he has done something for their family, for their great. People have different reasons of picking and choosing. And so you cannot say, that's why we all have one equal vote. If yours is about, because you say he's from my ethnic group, therefore I'm going to vote for him. Others is about, you know, I like him because he has done this, some others because he's handsome, some I like the way he dressed. Some might not even care about the policies or choice or things that he's saying.
I have seen during 2016 election, people voted for Mama Kande because of his looks.
So that also, so political behavior is very, you know, sometimes it's about the...
He was famous among the ladies. Most ladies said to me,
Balde, that's a huge accusation there.
But it's a possibility as well. So that's why choice is very, but that's why we also keep saying that when people have more information, if they have information about policies, that's why political parties come with manifestos, so they tell people what they want to do, so that people can focus on the important things as well. And then the rest could be additions.
But so I mean, what should be the level of education of a leader? I mean, a president.
I really don't know, because there have been leaders, great leaders within our continent that have never been to school, and we praise them, we sing them. They have some form of education, different form of education. So for me, a leader should be someone that loves the people, that care about the people, that care about the future, but also is committed. And it doesn't matter whether you are educated or not, because for a state should not just depend on one person. The state, that's why you have to have institution, you have to have structure, you have to bring everybody on board so that they can help the leader. At the end of the day, the leader will serve, especially within our context, will serve for, you know, a particular time, and then the state continues. So for me, it's about the institution, it's about the collective, and also the commitment and then the interest of the individual, rather than the level of education. But some say that knowledge is very important, but knowledge can be acquired in different ways. So for me, it is important, but it's about the
You
person.
prefer your president to be educated, you know, full education, or half education?
What is full and half education for me?
I don't get that. But
no, what I mean is, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if people around you, if they know you don't have any clue of what you're doing, they might manipulate you.
But then that's why you have all the resources. That's why you are given the power to bring in people that know. For me, you know, as a leader, I wouldn't bring people that I know more of. I'll bring people that know better than me, that are experts in different areas, you know, that can give me the right advice. And then at the end of the day, the decision is mine. You know, so listen to people. That's why we say a leader must, you know, with Fabakary Kale and all that, when he used to teach us leadership, he talks about a leader must have big ears and small mouth. You know, but if a leader has a big mouth and a small ear, he just talk and nobody, you know, will not listen. But a leader must be someone that is supposed to listen.
True.
And if you're not able to listen, I mean, you might look for something else.
True.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks ago, the National Roads Authority and the Gambia Police Force are on an exercise to clear, I mean, the roads, the footpath, so that it can be easy for people to move about. We have seen a lot of chaotic situations whereby some people retaliate and refuse to do certain, and some of them are arrested, taken to the police. I've seen several videos whereby when you come to a person's shop, the person refused to close down his shop or something. So therefore he will be arrested and taken to the police station. So do you think we should refuse development?
I mean, so development means in UTG, well, the first thing, you know, I did introduction to development, and what they taught us was development means different things to different people. You are thinking about structural development is good for the country, yes, we agree. But how about the individual, the one that is also earning a living? That is also development, because that person is not in the shop because he wants to be in the shop, but he is in the shop there because he wants to earn a living in a legal way to take care of his family. His responsibility, just like the state, is to educate, to provide, to feed. So when we are coming up with a decision, we need to look at this holistically, not just because we want development, we want fast road, but how is that road connected to what is currently happening? How is also connected to the broader, unemployment problem that we're also currently discussing. But of course, I saw the videos and I listened to some of the interviews, and people generally appreciate the fact that it is going to be development, it's going to benefit everybody. But the problem, I think, for many is that they were not consulted or given enough time to think, because one, their investment. And so where is this person going to get the investment again to look at that? So for me, I think sometimes when you're coming up with policies, you need to consult, because of course it was a national conversation, the KMCs and everybody was part of that. But where the people that were affected, were they part of that? So usually we forget those people, but at the end of the day, when we go to implement policies, they can either resist or support what we want to do. So engaging them from a longer discussion, from a wider perspective, will also try to avoid all this chaos that you also described earlier.
Absolutely. So moving on,
yes.
Gambia urged to present resolution at UN on the atrocities in Palestine. You see in other countries coming forward, presenting their resolution, their stance as to whether they are for or against Palestine or Israel. So we've been seeing a lot of issues happening. So my Fatih's picture is on the page. I want to believe that he's the one urging the Gambia to present a resolution as far as the atrocities in Palestine are concerned.
I think historically we have always sided with the people of Palestine, because we are from colonialism. We experience colonialism. We experience imperialism, and that's what exactly how Gambia has seen the case in Palestine, that these are people that deserve their land to exist, and we have seen that. Gambia is not quiet. I mean, if you look at the UN, the votes, we are voting in support of Palestine. We have done it historically. We'll continue to do it, because this is also what we believe in. And in that process, I mean, we've also seen the Deputy Speaker. He went to the IPU and he made also a statement. So we are speaking. We have never been behind when it comes to issues, global issues that have consequences for humanity. And as a country, this has been our mission from the 70s all the way, except for a period where people were violating our rights here. But that has to be our message. We are a small country. We cannot allow bigger powers to just, do whatever they want, and so whether we can contribute or not, the way we can do is to keep talking. And what is happening in Palestine is unjust, is barbaric, and I think it's our commitment as a country to speak against it. And for me, that's what I see the government doing, and I appreciate that as a citizen.
True. And we've also seen the UN Secretary General last week. He released a statement on the happenings, and at some point he also said they are not going by the Geneva Convention. Certain institutions are bombed. People are killed.
I mean, what is happening there is war crime. It cannot be anything else. Of course,
it's regarded as genocide.
So it is exactly what is happening. You collective punishment. Bombing everywhere. Civilians. And I think this is about humanity. It's not no longer about Palestine or anything. It's about the human being. It can happen anywhere. It is happening. We shouldn't just allow people thinking they have power to be bombing and killing people just like that. They don't own any life. So you cannot take any life that you don't own. Definitely. So it should be as simple as that. This world, young people need peace, and that is what the leaders should work towards. Bringing peace around, around, and that's as simple for me.
Sir Marty, there is a nation sitting somewhere, that is gaining from what is happening in Palestine.
Of course, everywhere there are people that benefit. The weapon industry is benefiting. Everybody is benefiting. It is the only people that are dying is the Palestinians. So there are people that will benefit. And even the reason why they're doing that, I mean, I'm not an expert in the Middle East and all those different stuff, but there are a lot of commentaries that you're seeing, and it has economic implication as well, and that is also there. You're talking about moving people, occupying their lands. I mean, what do you expect those people to do? Not to justify violence, but at some point
they must
people will resist. And so at some point, the world needs to to think about the millions of people, the children, the women, and everybody that is going to
very disturbing images.
Or we wait until it happens and then we come and say humanitarian. Why not prevent it from the onset?
True.
And others are also blaming the Security Council, saying that whilst they are on their debate, thousands and thousands of women and children are dying every day.
Unfortunately, there's some of those that are benefiting are part of those councils. So, I mean, sometimes they put politics above our lives, and that's what we are saying.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Seth Mati, for reviewing the stories with us. And that's the time we have for the paper review. So we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll look at the NAWEC token identifier. They've released, there is a press release on this, so we'll be engaging their officials on this topic. So we'll be right back.
With our ultimate bundles, enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. Or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day, or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
Step into the Espas Motors showroom for your luxurious name brand vehicle. Located along the Bertil Harding Highway, Espas Motors is the Gambia's authorized dealer for Chery, Kia, Ford, and now we bring you the new Peugeot Model 3008 SUV. 18-inch alloy wheels, 216 inches high ground clearance, keyless entry system, start and stop button, rear parking assistance system with reverse camera, adaptive cruise control with speed limit, LED daytime running lights, front and side airbags, 8-inch HD touchscreen. Not to forget our exquisite Peugeot Landtrek double cabin pickup with 2.1-liter diesel engine, 6-speed manual transmission 4x4, hill descent control, LED daytime running lights. Espas Motors, the authorized dealer for Peugeot. Visit us today or call us on 35-2222 or 353-4444.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience. Banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app.
We are back, and this is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Obalde. Now let's talk to the Office of the National Security Advisor on security sector reform. As you know, it's been the intention of the government of the Gambia to implement what we call security sector reform. And we've been talking about it, and according to some officials, I mean, it takes a long process to go through the reform, and there are steps that are to be taken to achieve 100% security sector reform. And to help us, you know, answer some of these questions is Mulai CFA Koli, Director Monitoring and Coordinator. And of course, we have Malang Jata, Director of Policy and Planning. Gentlemen, you're welcome on QTV this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Julde.
Yes.
On that
to
note,
start with,
yes.
Good morning. We will start by telling us what's the concept behind the security sector reform, because I know that there has been lots of misconceptions as far as the security sector reform is concerned. So take us through the concept of the security sector reform.
Thank you for having me this morning. The concept of security sector reform is that was a need for this, and this was done way back in 2017, because that was an assessment to assess and see what are the gaps that are within the security sector. And as a result of the assessment, we come up with policies to address those gaps. And as of now, what we are doing now, we are implementing those policies.
So speaking of policies, what exactly are we really looking at as far as the policy implementation is concerned? I will come to Malang on that.
Yeah. Okay, we've developed policies, acts and regulations that is going to guide the government in the implementation of the security sector reform. Now, we developed the National Security Policy, which is first of its kind, and then we also developed the Security Sector Reform Strategy and National Security Strategy. And of late, the National Defense Policy was also was inaugurated, and we're developing the National Defense Strategy. So all these policies, acts and regulations are what is going to guide the security sector reform. So if we have that, we partition it into short, medium and long-term plans of how we're going to implement the security sector reform.
So the security sector reform, is it only targeting members of the security forces? Because most people are saying that the security sector reform, the main objective was just about downsizing and right-sizing, which I think they have done. And as far as that is concerned, many people are saying that they have not seen any effect as far as the security sector reform is concerned.
And for this part, I think this is where we have need to work on, because security sector reform is a process. If you look at in education, they have reform. In the judiciary, there is reform. So this is a process that continues. Even the advanced militaries or advanced countries, they do not reform. Because why are we doing this? Because things that are happening now are very different from what happened about 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So for us to be at par with what's happening, we need to reform. The notion that this is about people going home is just like people don't understand the concept. The concept is what we are doing is not good. We need to do better. Like even in TV programming, certain things you come up with better programs so that you can improve your viewership. The same thing, because we are delivering service, we need to make sure that the service is delivered for people are the optimal one, so that everybody enjoy the peace. And during the process, you may tend to have challenges in the process, but none the way we are working towards achieving those challenges. And the government has shown a lot of commitment in that regard. For example, they have looked into inward and see how best are they going to fund, because this reform is capital intensive, and we need a lot of money to do that. I think partners also have contributed a lot in that. But the other thing that you need to do is to do with the mindset, because the reform has to do also with the physical aspect. But the mind is also important, because changing the people's concept of what they do will take years. So this is a process that we are doing.
Malang Jata, I mean, what are the steps that are going to be taken to implement some of these strategies? Because you know, we are good at just putting pen to paper strategies. This is what we want to do, but implementation becomes our problem.
Okay. Now, as I have said, we've developed the required policies and strategies. Now we are at the implementation stage. So in that implementation stage, the government has committed some funds that is going to support the security sector reform, so that we can have the ownership, and that's very important in the security sector reform.
we don't want it to be driven by partners. The government should take the lead, and the partners will complement the efforts of the government. So in the implementation stage, funding is very important. So the funds that the government have, we try to partner, collaborate with bilateral and multilateral partners to support the security sector reform. Since enhancing security is very expensive, so we feel that government cannot do it alone. So we partnering with different multilateral and bilateral partners to do that. Currently, tomorrow we are going to do the consultation on United Nations Peace Building Fund, which is going to support and complement government's effort in that direction.
Yes. Is it true, security sector reform strategy, I mean, it's just mated only on one security sector in the Gambia, according to what I heard. You know, how true is this? Because people are saying you are only pointing to one sister security. So how true is that?
If you look at the reform that is going on, if you look at the national security strategy and the security sector reform strategy, we have 8 security institutions, and namely the Gambia Police Force, the Gambia Armed Forces, the SIS, or known as NIA, the prisons, the drug law, the GRA, and the fire service. So what we are doing is holistic. We are not taking one sector at a time. Because if you do that, if you look at, if you want to work in silos, because security is integrated, the approach we are taking now is holistically to look into what are the gaps already that we already identify. And one of the things that we are doing is, because if you don't have a policy to tell you what you're supposed to do, that's going to be difficult. Now, if you look at the latest policy that was developed, National Defense Policy, some people are thinking that defense is not about the military. Defense is beyond what we see as what is happening. For example, like if we don't have proper food or proper water, or we have other things, this is a threat to national security. So the defense policy will try to look at what type of security or defense do we want, so that the Gambia can be protected, so that everybody can be able to do business. So the process is not focused on one institution, but it's holistic. That is now, for example, like, also look, how are we going to manage our inmates for prison system? Because if you look at it recently, there was a training that about, I think 50 inmates with specialized in areas are trained. Because one, the reform does not focus on the people outside, but also even inside, so that when they come out of prison, they can be better people. So the process is not focused only on one institution, but it's holistic. Well, maybe what you can see what has happened is because these are the people or institutions that deal direct with people. But others that are not dealing direct with people, the process is still going on.
So the security sector reform, it's been almost, is it 6 years or more than 6 years? What are some of the strikes that you have registered as far as the security sector reform is concerned? The reason why I'm asking this, because this is based on security, it's based on a pillar. And that pillar really, one of the key things that are important there is data. Have you been collecting data to know really the level of progress that you have registered as far as, because it's been 6 years since the security sector reform started? Nala?
Okay, thank you. Yes, we had the security sector institutions audit started in 2018 gone to 2020, which is going to inform us about the strength of the different security institutions. So that will also guide the government in terms of decision making, because we don't want to make decisions in vague, but we want to be guided by at least some data, informed by data and policies. So we were able to collect some data about all the security institutions in the country. So that is going to inform the government whether we have a right side security or whether we have a bloated security and so on and so forth. So it's going to be guided by that. Now, apart from that also, you talked of whether some progress has been made. Now, all the security institutions now are under civilian oversight and management. Like example, the National Assembly can even summon the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police or the Director General SIS. So they will go with the Minister of Interior or Minister of Defense, depending on the institution that goes there. And they will answer to the questions regarding to some of the policies, acts, and regulations that they've implemented. So currently, the security sector is accountable to civilian oversight. We have the Ministry of Defense. For the first time, we have it now. Then we don't have it. We have the Ministry of Interior. We have the Office of National Security. We have the National Human Rights Commission. We have the National Assembly, different select committees that are there to hold these security institutions to account. So that's another one. And also we have the democratic spaces now opened in the Gambia. Then people can just wake up and go out and say their thoughts and minds about some of the things that they face in which the government can be able to devise ways and means of addressing that. So apart from that, we've undergoing series of training of security personnel so that we, in the medium and long term, we can have a professional security. And that will take time because they have to undergo through different securities. Like example, from the records that we have, TRRC and so on, we said they have been violating the rights of the people. So now we're trying to see if we can be able to incorporate into their training programs some of the human rights chapters in which they can go through the human rights curriculum so that those violations, the acts of violations that they do, can be minimized.
Yeah, so, okay, how often do you sit together, I mean, as a team to be able to discuss these things? Because this needs to be discussed all the time so that we can reach where we want to go.
Now, if you look at the National Security Architecture now, the highest body is National Security Council. That meets every Monday. At the moment, I think they are meeting. And the other one, the lower layer, is senior management team, where that meets every Friday. And at the district or the regional level, we have also committee that meet. So normally it's from there that is, it feeds, the lower level feeds up to the strategic level, where the National Security Council will take decisions to advise or to give direction on what next to do. And I want to come at the point that Marlon was trying to highlight about what has done for so far. If you look at the latest report of the National Human Rights Commission, where talking about how far we have gone, the two institutions that were known for violating people's rights, the NIA and the Gambia Armed Forces, there is no single report advisory against them. The only other institutions, you look at about 517 complaints within the country, but with that against insecurity is 23. And those 23 is a portion between the immigration, the drug law, and the police, because they are directly dealing with people. But there is no single report against the State Intelligence Agency. And there are also no single report against the Gambia Armed Forces. We can see a departure from where we are to now. In those days, it was those two institutions were known for that. But you can see, like what Marlon was saying, the newfound freedom. You can see the way people do. You can see attacks against individuals of police officers or other security institutions. This is what we all call for, to have a free space to do whatever we want. But also this has also come with challenges that everybody is saying. I think this is so important that we have moved away from what was happening to now, whereas even the police officer or people in uniform have been attacked. This is a great departure from what was happening. So,
finally,
Marlon, you did mention earlier that you did research in 2018 about the different security forces in the Gambia. What does it say?
Yeah, in terms of the numbers, we've seen that when you look at the security institution, it's supposed to be a pyramid. You're supposed to get a lot of officers at the base who will do the work. Then as we go to the middle management, it widens up. By the time that it goes to the top, we're supposed to have very few senior officers. But our statistics were informed that we have, the pyramid is not in its natural shape. So at the middle, instead of having less middle level officers, we have more. And then at top, instead of having very thin, like the generals and so on, we have more. So that is for just example of the Gambia Armed Forces. So the Gambia Police Force also and so on, we are seeing that. And we have also seen that in terms of gender also, a lot of female officers are not at the strategic level. Like if you talk of the generals, how many female generals do we have? If you talk of the police commissioners, how many police commissioners do we have? So we find out that male are dominating the senior and strategic level, which we feel that there should be a change in that paradigm, so that
I'm glad that you mentioned, because that was going to be my next question. Like security sector reform, does it not involve the gender gap, like bridging the gender gap? But I'm glad that you mentioned that there is a gender dimension. So to what extent, finally, to what extent have you gone to ensure that there is a bridge in the gender gap as far as the security sector is concerned?
Currently, the Gambia Police Force, in collaboration with DCAF, has developed a gender policy that is going to look at different ways in which gender can be looked at in terms of recruitment, in terms of training, in terms of promotion to different level. Me personally, I am hoping and wishing to see one day we have a female Chief of Defense Staff or a female IGP, and see how differently things are going to be in this country. And then we're looking towards that direction, so that everybody is given a balanced fare of our cake. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mulai CFA Koli and Malang Jata for coming on the program. Discuss security sector reform. And don't hesitate anytime you want to share anything with the general public. This platform is open for you. Yes. So we'll take a short break. After the break, we'll discuss with NAWEC officials on the NAWEC's token identifier. So we'll be right back.
Who asks for it? And QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Q Money is...
So we are back, and this is QTV. And now let's go to the last segment of the program, Julde. Let's talk to NAWEC on the NAWEC's token identifier. So we have Buba Baji, Communications, and of course Ibrahim Ojob, Senior Manager, Customer Service, CRR and URR. Gentlemen, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you very much. Yes. Good morning, and good morning, Julia.
Yes, it's good
to good morning to all those audience.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
NAWEC nak sen tourné huton wale What is happening? What's your secret now?
It's transforming.
Transforming. Wow, lola. Exactly. So now what is this NAWEC token identifier all about? I'm seeing it, but I don't understand. And I believe there's a man sitting out there who don't also understand. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you. First, when we talk of the TID rollover, we're talking about the cash power that we are all using. We are thinking cash power is a household name. TID rollover is a token identifier. Yes. It's like an update that is going to happen. Because, let's put it in a simple way so that the layman out there in that fuller village will understand. That it's like your mobile, when you have your WhatsApp, at some point you update it. But these updates are happening every 30 years. The last time it was done was 1993. And then now it's 30 years is here, 2023, so we are doing the same. But it's no magic, it's nothing like very difficult. It's as simple as sitting here and talking about it. Yeah. So the TID rollover, as we said, we already started with the staffs, as we said, and then almost we are succeeding. Almost 3/4 of the staffs have already changed. So and then when we say change, people confused. But you are changing, you are not changing anything. Maybe you are buying, if you buy cash power before, you only have one set of 20 tokens. Now, okay, but with the TID, if you buy for the first time when the key change is happening, you will have 3 sets. You do that entry, that's it. It will not come again till 30 years back, time again. Yeah.
Okay. So does this really mean changing our meters, cash power numbers and everything? Because I'm hearing lots of misconceptions around. People are saying, okay, does it really mean that, okay, NAWEC, once they bankroll this, people are going to change their meter numbers, they are going to change their meters entirely. Is that the case?
No, I think
good morning and thank you for having us. No, that's not the case. Like my colleague said, it's not a complicated process. And what we are doing is a system upgrade. And I have to add that this is not just peculiar to NAWEC. This is what is happening globally. It cuts across all countries across the world. If you go to Russia, you go to Senegal, or you are in Ghana or wherever, it's a happening. That is necessitated by the fact that all prepayment systems based on this cash power, what we locally call cash power in the Gambia, are based on a system. And this system has a lifespan of 30 years. And once that time is up, it is necessary for the system to be upgraded so that the token identifier, that's why we refer to as the TID, the token identifier would be viable. Because the risk there is, if this is not done, you would run the risk of token reruns. The reason why today you can't just walk across the streets and randomly put together 20 numbers and go to a cash power meter and key it in and have electricity is the fact that there are token identifiers encrypted within these numbers. So after 30 years, their lifespan would come to an end. So it is necessary to upgrade the system. But like he said, in his introductory remark, system upgrades is familiar. It's something we all do, with all our devices, even our mobile apps and stuff like that. So once in a while.
Is it the case with Keusa with their G, like their 3 has a lapse and now they are coming up with the number 5? Is that the same?
Not really.
We can't talk to that.
Not really. Because this one there will be no change of moving from 0 to no. This is not happening. As he said, what is happening is an update. All right. And
so
then
it has
if it is
nothing
done,
to do with the meters.
No, nothing will change. Your meter remains the same, and immediately after the key change, after that it doesn't come again. You're not going to do it again until 30 years. That's another time. Maybe that time I'll be working with a stick.
The Jolas and the series, my kids, they are very difficult to educate.
Yes.
Some of them are even saying that, okay, maybe this is a strategy from NAWEC to increase the cash power now. Is that the case? You get NAWEC, then you get the fad if you upgrade the money kundi bugunyo yoka. Wow,
I'm not solo torop. Pour ñu leeral foofu noonu déedéet NAWEC yokkuñ benn cash power te moo tax sax si biir suñ communication bi li ñu dee wan nit ñi mooy soo demee bu ñu la joxee pour nga dem dugal bala ngaa dugal seetal ndax ñaata nga amoon su fekkee yaa ngi am foon 20 digits ou 20 units ou 5 units soo dugalee bii rek dafa war a nekk plus so pour ñu wan la ne bala ngaa dugal sax njëkk la seet ndax li ma fa am moo fa nekk because lii amul dara lu mu def change dara lu ñoo change rek mooy mbita bi rek mooy update bi sax yow soo bàyyi sa xel sax doo ko yëg te du fa def dara du tanga am courant du tanga ñàkk courant li nga nekkoon rek foofu ngay nekk beneen pour am courant ak ñàkk am courant boobu beneen faana la waaye faana bi moom amul lu mu def ak loolu dama bëgg pour dalal nit ñi seen xel loolu te jarul panique jarul sax ngay dox wala nit ñëw xam nga léegi-léegi rek comme suñ bokki poli rek ñu ñëw ñu ne la jooma nanga ma defal la déedéet xam naa suma project manager dina fa bamtuwaat loolu moom nekku fa it's free.
Thank you.
We are doing it free and then as simple as free.
Unfortunately nag time bi dafa jeex.
waaw bi ko yéen a jeexal time bi.
time bi jeex na de ma bëggoon naa ñu waxtaan si ñu leeral ko si ay laaka yu
bari.
waaw
waaye mën na ko si sotti si gaaw.
Unfortunately just in few seconds. nga ñu tàggatoo.
Wow, few seconds.
Mbadingolu.
Okay, mbadingolu ngal konton coming fojandro wolem ko atemela mbena alla mital cash power mital mimbe dawoda mbena kawle la jernya kutayandi nga fonu komantu jang ko nyimmanke nawek damala koti nyimu dunia be kuleti fo cash power be banku kan fo america lembang fo europe lem fo africa lembang a bele ba ko nyinto ko nyin do ko nyoya fo nyame wato mbe jaman si abani ala sonta mbe na kumo gana
alba seneyandina ala barka bake. Thank you very much for coming, gentlemen. Julde, this is all we have until we come back here tomorrow, inshallah, for another program.